Alright. What up, AMP unit? It's been a long day, but we got a lot done thus far, including pumping out the AEW Dynamite review video earlier this morning, so if you haven't caught it yet, after this very vid, you guys know what to do. Click and rock that sumbitch out just like over 1,500 AMP unit members have already done. And by the looks of it, you guys are definitely enjoying that review. Just glad I can entertain you guys, and we're bouts to do it again in this very vid for the NXT review. And as I always am with you guys, hard-hitting honesty to the core, and right from the jump, I'm gonna fill you in right now. I ain't too happy with Triple H, and I ain't too happy with the black and yellow brand as a whole. Because they're gonna rush a takeover event for Sunday, October 4th, when they don't even have number one contenders established and lined up for the title matches. So what do? Of course, you guessed it. William Regal comes out Wednesday night and he declares that the title matches for TakeOver will be determined by a series of schmaz matches next week. Everything from gauntlet matches to battle royals, the men and the women. All the main titles will be decided by schmaz matches. That is how we are going to find the number one contenders. And then they wonder why we don't care about these pay-per-view matches anymore. Because they don't feel special. There's nothing to build intrigue upon. It's much easier to just shove everybody in the middle of the ring in a schmaz match and find the number one contender that way. It's much easier to do that because it takes a lot more care, a lot more creativity and thought to actually build a superstar up correctly, the right way, and to actually create conflict with a champion in a unique atmosphere and in a unique way. No. These days, there's a pay-per-view every 3 weeks. So the only way they feel they can come up with a number one contender is by schmaz matches, fatal 4-way, 5-way, fatal 45 ways, 19-person gauntlet match, a 25-person battle royal. And then what? And then the feud, the storytelling starts afterwards? Everything is ass backwards now. And I expect this on the main roster under Vincent Kennedy McMahon, but now we're getting it in NXT too. This is not the NXT that I used to love. This is just becoming another Vince McMahon side project. It is clear NXT has forgotten what made them special, quality over quantity. They lost that concept, and now it's quantity over quality. More pay-per-views, more special events, more gimmick matches. We'll figure it out along the way. We'll figure it out along the way. Sound familiar? That's how Vincent Kennedy McMahon runs business these days. But it is clear as day, it is evident to all of us who is actually running the ship these days for NXT. It's not Triple H. We started to see signs of McMahon taking over end of July, early August, and then one situation after another occurred until it dawned on us these are no longer coincidences. Vince McMahon not only has his hands in the cookie jar, but he ain't sharing. And do you honestly think McMahon cares about NXT? No. To McMahon, it's just there to pull viewers away from AEW. He doesn't care what Triple H has created. McMahon don't care. So now he's going to use to suck up anything possible that NXT has to offer. He is going to use it and abuse it. And I would not be shocked if a year from now we are talking about NXT being in dire straits. And that's sad to say. Yeah, we're going to talk about NXT this week and where we go from here for TakeOver in this very review. We're also going to talk about Ryback. Because Ryback is at it again. Poor me. I want this. I don't want that. I deserve this. I don't deserve that. Ryback. Do us all a favor and shut up. Cry me a river. Everything with this guy is me, 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 me. I don't know if I have ever seen a dude more dramatic than Ryback. And now he's saying, oh, I just want to be erased from WWE's history. Just let me be. As if they're doing anything to you. Bro, you knew what you were signing when you signed it. And when things didn't go your way, now you cry about it. You want to be erased from WWE's history. Congratulations, you can shut up because nobody remembers you anyway. I don't know why the dirt sheets even acknowledge your opinions or thoughts, because that's where I always see your petty bullshit. If it wasn't for dirt sheets, if it wasn't for columnists and journalists covering your shit, I would have already forgotten you fully. We'll talk about what Ryback is crying about as well. First, I want to start off with a WWE press release. This is the main event for this Friday night SmackDown. Are you guys ready for this? It's going to be a Samoan street fight. This is like McMahon, the suits and ties, the powers that be. They found out what AEW did this week with the parking lot brawl. They found out it was a success, and now they're like, maybe we can do that this week. So now we're going to get a street fight. Samoan street fight. And you guessed it. It's Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Sheamus and King Corbin. If that sounds familiar, it's the same exact match from last week. And this is what I mean when I said right from the jump, Roman needs to turn on Jey Uso. Turn the heat up immediately. You only have a couple of weeks to get to the Clash. Nobody cares about Jey Uso versus Roman just because they're cousins. Nobody cares about them having slight friction. Roman looking at Jey Uso like he's annoyed with him, and that's supposed to get us excited for a couple more weeks to Clash. No, we don't want tweener Roman. Right out of the gate, he needs to show everybody how much of a heel he truly is now. He turns on his own family, his own cousin, and the story writes itself. Jey Uso now wants retribution. He's on the hunt for Roman, but Roman continues to get the best of him. In the culminating moment at the Clash, Roman defeats Jey. Jey Uso loses nothing because he's a tag team competitor anyway, and Roman is now a true, legit, bona fide heel, and he cemented that spot by taking out his own cousin. But I had people crying like Ryback. No, Beasley, he shouldn't turn on him yet. It's too soon, Beasley. What do you mean it's too soon? We've been waiting for Roman to turn heel for years. This is the moment to truly do it. And you want to wait more weeks. For what, guys? What do you want to wait for? Do you think the moment is going to be better at the Clash? Do you think when Roman turns on Jey Uso at the Clash, it's going to be that much more exciting? Why, guys? Did you think it was going to be built up better? Did you think we were going to get an awesome storyline? See, I didn't think that way because I see what's happening 10 steps before anybody else even sees it. I'm a mile down the road when everybody else is playing catch up. I knew there was going to be no story here other than two cousins with some friction. Wow, how fun, how exciting. Man, if Roman just leveled Jey Uso last week, we would be that much more interested in this story. But now, for everybody that said no, BC, he shouldn't have turned on him yet. Be careful what you wish for. You just may get it. Because now we have a rematch this week. A Samoan street fight. We get to see Corbin and Sheamus versus Jey and Roman again. And what's going to happen, guys? Are we going to get more friction? Is Roman going to look at Jey Uso like, dude, get away from me? I'm annoyed by you. Is Jey Uso going to have a conflicted look? Cuz, what's going on, man? Wow, this is captivating television. You guys were right. BC was wrong. We should let this drag out until Clash, and then he'll do the turn. Oh yeah, we'll be way more excited. In the meantime, let's just keep getting these rematches with these four dudes. Wow. You guys are smart, man. You're right, this is a much better story being told. I'm right yet again, and I can't even pat myself on the back. I can't even pump up my own ego because at this point, every fucking time I say something like this, I turn out to be correct because it is obvious for anybody that watches and knows the product. It is obvious what needs to be done. And when it's not done, that's usually when the mediocrity fan base jumps on the bandwagon and they start saying, I like this. This is exactly what should be happening. And then the very next week, they're pondering to themselves, this isn't what I had in mind. Exactly. More listening to the Ant-Man and more shuddy. Hands off the keyboards, more listening. I would never steer you guys wrong, man. Here we are with another fucking rematch for Friday night. WWE's official press release is as follows. The Bloodline will be back at it as Roman Reigns and Jey Uso battle Sheamus and King Corbin in a Samoan street fight this Friday on SmackDown. As first reported by Sports Illustrated, wow, what a news story. The rematch has been set as Reigns and Uso will once again team up before their Universal Championship showdown at Clash of Champions. The Superstar Cousins united last week against the Celtic Warrior and Corbin, with Uso doing much of the heavy lifting. Uso showed grit in fighting off the attacks of both towering superstars as the big dog laid in wait backstage. Reigns' music helped slow down the onslaught from Sheamus and Corbin, and as the big dog's entrance allowed Uso to regroup, a high-flying splash from Uso on Sheamus all but sealed the victory. But the Universal Champion cunningly tagged himself in to provide the exclamation point. Reigns then delivered a punishing spear to the Celtic Warrior to secure the win. It wasn't all smiles after the triumph, as the two cousins traded tense glares, while Uso attempted to raise their hands in victory. Will Reigns use the help of Uso to wreck everyone and leave once again, or will Sheamus and King Corbin be able to capitalize on any friction lingering between the cousins? Ooh, this is must-see TV, man. You guys are right, man. This is so much better of a storyline than Roman just turning full throttle heel by taking out his cousin last week. And here's a crazy concept. Tell an actual better story. A unique story. This is regurgitated bullshit. But according to some fans, it's good shit. Because there's friction, basically. Did you say the way Roman was looking at Jey? It's these subtleties, basically. You can't miss the subtleties, basically. Oh, I didn't miss anything. Trust me. I saw it. I'm just not a little fucking... I don't have the brain of a fucking mouse. Like some people who can sit back and enjoy this fucking trash. Anyway. Let me talk about Ryback real quick, and then we can get into NXT. Ryback wants to be erased from WWE history because of a trademark battle that he is currently going through. Apparently, he went on a fucking social media rampage, and Ryback wrote the following. The trademark case has begun with WWE and Vince McMahon. He even tagged them. Anything for attention for this fucking dude. And can go upwards of 20 months, he said. While unfortunate, they chose not to let this go. It gives me great joy beating them every step of the way. I will win this and hope to be forever erased from that company. Don't worry, Ryback. We've already, all of us, unanimously, pretty much erased you from the company. You don't gotta try too hard. You're more than forgettable. He also wrote, I want everyone to see how petty WWE is. We know that. That's absolutely true. But nobody is more petty, or let me backtrack that. The only person I know that is as petty as Vince McMahon is named Ryback, Ryan Reeves. Oh, between the two of you, I don't know how this didn't work, this relationship. He says, I want everyone to see how petty WWE. A trademark that they renewed the last day so I couldn't get it for a minimal fee. And one they don't use anymore and haven't used in games, merchandise, etc. I am the trademark and created prior to working there. Let it go and let's move on. Ryback, it's business 101, bro. You signed the contract. WWE originally owned it. It was theirs to take back. They can wait till the last day, the last minute, bro. Why would they give it to you? You do nothing but talk shit about them anyway, and they're just supposed to give you fucking freebies? It's their shit. If they ever want to use it in merchandise or marketing or games or anything of the sort, if they ever chose to, then they can do that now. But they were supposed to just let it go so you could pick it up for a minimal fee and then make money off of it? That's not how business works. You're just butthurt because you got caught up in your own contract woes. You signed your name on the dotted line. You knew what you were signing, or should have. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you were just stupid. Bro, you cry non-stop. Relax. On everything. Honestly, dude, you wouldn't have lasted in WWE anyway, because it is clear you're on about 105 different supplements or some shit. Half of it cannot be legal. There's no way WWE, there's no way you're going to pass their testing. I just don't see it, bro. Not if you were full-time. That's not even throwing shade to you. You know it and I know it. So now you're going to pass it off like you're some supplement dude and nutrition. And what are you going to do? Sell food and all that and act like that your size is what any human being can achieve? Yeah, if you're on about 105 different things, you can achieve that physique. You're not being real with others, and that's because you were never real with yourself. You are a fucking bitch through and through. You are Ryback always, and you have already been erased from the company from yours truly, and I know many others. Get over yourself, dude. You're not gonna beat WWE just because you cry more than others. I don't even want to spend another fucking minute on this guy. Every time you see a columnist or a journalist or even a dirt sheet, for some reason they give this guy attention, and I just don't understand why. He's as forgettable as what I had for breakfast last Tuesday. I don't remember, and I don't remember him, and I don't want to. Fucking crybaby bitch. Ivar underwent surgery. We hope nothing but the best for him. We're hearing it's not going to be anytime soon that he returns, so I don't know what this says about Eric. We already saw him getting beat this week. Pretty much squash fashion almost. So, you know, as if the Viking Raiders, whatever you want to call them, as if they couldn't drop any lower. This looks to be the end of them. I think when he comes back, Eric will be so far gone, booking-wise, that I don't know if there's going to be a return for them. You know, if they were built like monsters, like actual beasts, then when they return, you know, you could pick up right where you left off and people will want to see them, but nobody cares about the Viking Raiders. So now they're going to be gone the better part of a year. And when they come back, are we supposed to go, whoa, it's the Viking Raiders? I wonder what games they're going to play now with the Street Profits. Have they even done Battleship yet? Maybe they're going to do Twister this Monday. Right? And knowing Vince, that's how he'll bring them back for a re-debut. Don't miss the Viking Raiders, their return after a full year of being gone, this Monday in a game of Twister. So before we start the actual NXT review, guys, some numbers just came in for the ratings. So brace yourself. Buckle up, guys. Here we go. Dynamite scored 886,000 viewers. NXT scored 689,000 viewers. So, Dynamite, AEW spanked that ass this week yet again by nearly 200,000 viewers, guys, 197,000. However, I will say this for NXT. After being gone from the Wednesday slot for a couple weeks, because they were on Tuesday nights the last 2 weeks, it's a pretty strong showing to be near 700,000 on your week back. So it's a loss, and they got spanked, but they can at least look at something positive here. They almost scored 700,000 viewers on their first week back. Pretty solid, but AEW with 886,000, there was no touching them. And I think Dynamite is also trying to get their footing back, because for a couple weeks recently, they were out of that Wednesday spot. They were on Saturday night, Thursday night, It was just a rough end of summer for both brands. I think 2021 is that's where we're going to see these brands really start battling again at full capacity and full amplification. I think they're going to pretty much limp into the holiday season. I just see that happening, guys, with all the playoffs and the sporting going on and wrestling being at just its drastically lowest. I just think 2021 is probably the safest bet to have these two bulls lock horns again. But for this week, man, Dynamite whooped that ass. And those are the latest numbers, guys. 886,000 for Dynamite, 689,000 for NXT. Nearly 200,000 viewers went over to TNT for AEW. So congrats to AEW. Now for NXT, this is September 16, 2020. We start the show with Io Shirai versus Shotzi Blackheart. This is a non-title match, but it didn't matter anyway because Io Shirai, as expected, wins this match via the over-the-moon moonsault in subsequent pinfall. But the real story here is Shotzi Blackheart hanging with the champ and showing the world of pro wrestling that she's there to be a contender, not just a mid-card chump. Shotzi showed heart, grit, and skill, and a few times in this match gave Io way more than she bargained for. This was a solid opening contest, and I gotta be honest, before they even locked horns, just seeing Io and Shotzi in the middle of the ring and thinking this is opening the show, I thought this works for me. It works on paper, and it works in the ring. And sure enough, when it was all said and done, it more than delivered. Solid opening contest. And Shotzi is exactly who I thought she was. Badass in a contender. Now the following was a good squash match to kind of come down from that solid opener. This was Tomasso Ciampa defeating Desmond Troy, formerly DeJournay. Now he is known as Desmond Troy. And Desmond loses via the Willow's Bell. Post-match, Jake Atlas hits the top of the ramp and has some choice words for Ciampa. And I gotta be honest, Jake Atlas was at least a bit more amped in his promos than I've seen in the past. And better than even Ricochet, who is on the main roster currently. And Ricochet has been on that main roster for months. And when Ricochet grabs the microphone, I cringe. I grab my headphones and I blast some MJ, maybe some Scorpions, Def Leppard, Journey. Give me anything. I'm going to blast that shit because listening to Ricochet for more than 10 seconds is bad for your eardrums. So Jake Atlas has never been a dude who you would think, promo-wise is going to deliver, but I mean, there was some amplification, man. There was some believability and realism in his words. And you truly believe that he has a score to settle now with Tomasso. So I do like that. Later in the night, Tomasso actually jumped Atlas in the parking lot. So I thought that added just even another layer to whatever they have going. So I guess what I'm saying is before the night, no, I didn't care to see Jake Atlas in anything. And now here we are just 2 hours after this show, and I'm like, hey, kind of looking forward to Jake Atlas and Tomasso now. There's that realism to it. So everything was well done with these two. Koshida versus Austin Theory was next. Within 5 minutes, Koshida taps Theory out with the hoverboard lock. It seemed to me like a filler match. I like how they're bumping up Kushida, but it doesn't really do much for him because Austin Theory is so low on the totem pole. And for Austin, this answers my question when he went back to NXT and I asked, well, what are they going to have for this guy, right? He was non-existent in NXT the first time around. Somehow he bypassed everybody and went straight to the main roster and everybody anointed him the next John Cena. That epically failed. And then he went back to NXT. And I just asked the question, what's he going to be now? Are they going to give him something of relevance? And we see he's just another jobber just like he was the first time. So, and I gotta be honest, guys, on the mic, the personality, the charisma, Austin Theory doesn't do it for me like he does a lot of you guys. If you really love this dude, that's awesome, and I hope nothing but the best for him and you guys, But for me, I need more, man. A wrestling character has to be more than what I'm seeing in Austin Theory. So in this match, if you're going to have these two lock horns, I'm okay with Koshida winning this thing. And again, it's pretty much squash fashion, less than 5 minutes with that hoverboard lock. Some more home life with the Garganos. I guess it's growing on me a little. The Garganos, Candice LeRae, Johnny Gargano, they are funny. It's sad to see Johnny Gargano where he was just 2 years ago, right there at the top of the totem pole of NXT. And it's almost like it ran its course, and it's almost like they didn't know what to do with Johnny anymore. And he started to be in these kind of weird matches. And now we're seeing this, I don't know, man, these home life segments with Candice. Like I said, it's growing on me. It's funny, it's interesting, but I can't help but think, I thought right now, 2020, we'd be seeing some more from Johnny Gargano. I don't know, I can't put my finger on it. I have to see where they take Johnny's character from here, man. Right now, Johnny Gargano is still one of the best wrestlers in the world, and I just feel like he's an afterthought. I guess that's the best way to put my words. Just like in AEW, where I feel Kenny Omega has not been utilized correctly, I don't think Johnny Gargano has been utilized correctly this whole summer. If I have a talent like Gargano, if I have a talent like Kenny Omega, these guys are going to be focal points on my show. And you say, oh, BC, Kenny's in one of the big storylines with Hangman Page for months. Let's be honest, because I'm not going to bullshit like a lot of you guys might do to yourself. You might look in the mirror and say, oh, I'm still just as excited for Kenny Omega and Page as I was 6 months ago. But that's a bull-faced lie. The storyline with Kenny and Page has ran its course. It just has. And I love long-term storytelling, but there has to be a fucking end. I didn't necessarily say I like 9 months to a fucking year of storytelling. Let's relax, pump the brakes. Kenny Omega needs much more. He needs much better, and he deserves much better. And Page can follow suit. Their feud lasted so long that a lot of people don't even care anymore. And when you start asking people about what their favorite part of AEW is, Kenny Omega and Page are like 5th, 6th, 7th on the list. Never would I think that for Kenny Omega. And same thing with NXT. When you start asking what's your favorite parts of NXT, you're starting to hear Gargano at like 6th, 7th, the 8th thing best. Some people you ask, they're not even on the top 10. So, I know that's a side rant, but it's amazing. It shows you how these brands are so overcrowded with so much talent that you got dudes that they just don't know what to do with. And they become afterthoughts on these programs. And after a 2-hour NXT show, all I can speak about with the Garganos is they were at home doing something funny. Hour number 1 ends with Breezango versus Imperium for the NXT tag titles. This was a good match that saw Tyler Breeze pick up the W for his team to retain. Even though this was a title match, I did not care at all about this contest, man. I didn't care at all. I'm not even going to expand on that. Take it for what it is. Take it how and perceive it however you want. It's in the eye of the beholder. I didn't care about this match, and that took away from it even being a championship match. Breezango does nothing for me. Imperium does nothing for me. Walter has, I don't mind Walter if given the right situation. Everything else, nah thanks. Hour number 2. Are we already at number 2? Yeah, hour number 2 is Kaden Carter and Zaro versus Xia Li and Jessie Kamiya. In fact, Carter and Zaro defeated Xia Li. Not buying it. Xia Li by herself can take out both ladies, and I like Casey, and I like Kaden, but Xia is a beast. Post-match, Xia walks out on a handshake from Carter and Casey, so they wanted to show some respect, but Xia Li is like, this is a fluke. I'm better than you two. I ain't shaking your hand. I'll see you down the line. And so she just walks. I like what I saw Xia Li do there. I didn't like seeing Xia Li eat that L, man. Absolutely not. They haven't had anything for her to date, and now they bring her in just to lose. I'm all set with that. If anything, have Jessie Kamiya take the L. Killian, Dane, and Drake Maverick versus the Undisputed Era. Fish drills Dane with a steel chair, and a disqualification is called on the Undisputed Era. Dane and Maverick win this match. Post-match, Maverick is super excited for what he thinks is a newly formed tag team between he and Dane, but Dane ends up clocking him upside his mug, and Dane walks off, leaving Maverick down and out. So I kind of dig the chemistry between Maverick and Dane. I'm not saying I need to see too much of this down the line, but I kind of dig the chemistry. It reminds me a la Kane and Daniel Bryan. Obviously much different, not in the same category to T, but it reminds me along those lines. Back in the parking lot, I already told you guys, Tomasso attacked Jake Atlas. Again, this was a definitely rushed storyline between the two, but they've managed to make it personal and drive some emotion, so it'll be interesting to see what they deliver next week. William Regal is up next, announcing a first ever match type called the Gauntlet Elimination. 5 superstars, 2 will start. Every 4 minutes, a new entrant hits the ring. Last man standing will be the new #1 contender for Finn Balor's NXT title come TakeOver. This is a rushed, multi-man schmaz match, just like the women who have a #1 contenders battle royal next week to find out who Io Shirai's #1 contender challenger is at TakeOver. What the fuck are we doing? This company does not know the meaning of quality over quantity. It's more, more, more. Who cares if it's good or not? And because now they want to have a takeover every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and because they want to copy AEW every week, so if AEW has Fyter Fest, you need to see the Great American Bash. And if AEW comes up with some beach concept, you're going to have Halloween Havoc for NXT. Actually, I wouldn't mind that. I used to love Halloween Havoc. But my point is, all of these special events and gimmick matches, more. When does it end? You are now sacrificing quality for your quantity. And everybody is losing. The superstars, the people that run the brand, the company as a whole, the fans definitely. The storylines suffer, the characters suffer, because you ain't building shit. To get to our matches for the pay-per-view, we're just having schmaz matches. Battle royals, gauntlet matches, fatal 4-ways, 5-ways, 6-ways. How can anybody think this is okay? One pay-per-view to the next every 3 weeks, so you can't even build a new feud or a new epic storyline. Unreal. So now next week is going to be billed Schmazfest. Schmazfest 2020. And when it's all said and done, they're banking that we're all excited for TakeOver 2 weeks later. From these manufactured. Nothing's organic here. No organic builds, no organic feuding, organic storytelling. Nope. Everything is being derived from a multi-man schmazfest. Main event was for the North American title, Damian Priest taking on Timothy Thatcher. Priest wins via the Reckoning. I literally didn't give a flying fuck. Just like the Tag Team Championship match, I didn't care about Timothy Thatcher and Damian Priest. This is not the NXT that I've grown to love. This match did nothing for me. You can say till you're blue in the face, but BC, it was a good match, man. I need more than just a good wrestling match. I can see good wrestling. I can see epic wrestling matches down at the local bingo hall. Pro wrestling is more than that. The characters, the stories, the atmosphere, what everything is leading to. Timothy Thatcher is in the main event, and some bozo wants to say, BC, Timothy Thatcher is good, man, give him a chance. I don't care how fucking great he is. I don't care how many chances you want me to give this dude. He doesn't drive the needle one way or the other. He is bland. But that's our main event. Should be lucky they got 689,000. Listen, I know it sounds like I'm really upset with the show as a whole. It wasn't necessarily that bad. I am just sick and tired of not caring about these shows because I legit just don't care. And I'm also sick and tired of finding out there's a pay-per-view every month and finding out that they have to fill up the card by multi-man schmaz gimmick matches because they haven't taken the time to figure things out. They don't put in the care and the effort and the resources to build shit organically. So you throw a bunch of individuals in the ring, and whoever's left standing, that's who you're telling the audience they have to get behind. That's the match you need to care about. And we'll have 2 weeks, 2 shows to try to manufacture a feud. It's absolute bullshit. That's your double review day, guys. That's NXT. What am I taking a day off? No. I'll be right back with you guys tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be a full-fledged podcast or we're just going to have I don't know. Either way, I hope to be with you guys tomorrow and talk some more pro wrestling, man. And of course, Saturday for SmackDown's review and reaction. And then maybe I'll take fucking Sunday off. But I ain't done yet this week. Not by a long shot. There's a lot more to talk about, but it's been a long day. Again, we put up the AEW review video earlier today. If you haven't seen that yet, guys, click on it right now. It'll be in one of these corners. It's in one of those boxes. Just click on that right now. That'll take you right to it. And what I got to do right now is whoop some more ass, man. I'm going to be out all the way till like 3, 4 a.m., but things need to be done, and we're going to do them amp style. Till next time, check you later.